What is happening? Oh my. Here we go with the microphone. That is going to limit you from creating more in the future. What do I need to do? Experience. It is possible for me. Okay, friends, we have so much happening. I hope that when I actually move, I've decided to actually move villas. And when I go to my new villa, I did create a home office with a similar wall here. However, I do need to install some LED lights. But I definitely want to have some full-time gear set up for filming, because always to break down and set up all the gear, it does take a little bit of time. It is heavily raining, so I don't have any internet. So fortunately, I created some notes before on my phone. So if you see me looking at my phone, that is why. What is happening? Oh my. If you're not in your life where you truly wish to be, in your friendships, in your relationships, in your bank account, in your health, then something has to change. And that change, it starts with you. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany. So I wanted to create this video today as a wake-up call for you to be triggered, but more so triggered in the most positive way, actually being activated. Maybe this is just a loving nudge forward for you to actually create some realizations and awareness so that you can take action to actually change your life, your money, your health. So the reason why I wanted to create this video is that every day in conversations that I have, either through private direct messages in my social media platforms, or whether it's voice notes, or whether it's real conversations that I am having in the lineup or in my day-to-day interactions, that the majority of people around me, not everybody, but the majority of people around me are dissatisfied, they're frustrated, and they're not truly living the life that they truly wish to have and desire to be. So I get it. You're frustrated, you may feel stagnant, you may feel dissatisfied, you may feel unhappy, you may feel just like empty, you may feel maybe even depressed. So this video is for you, and I acknowledge where you may be in your life, in your mind today, because I also have been there. And this is life. Different experiences and things are going to happen over the years, but it's really learning to embrace when the times get tough, when we are faced with challenges and adversities, and be able to actually shift that into propelling you forward to actually make the changes in your life. And I want to share with you that it is actually possible to change your life, because if you look around and you perceive that other people are successful, other people are affording and living a lifestyle that you desire and have maybe certain material things. Maybe you also perceive that other people have amazing quality friendships and they're in happy marriages and they have all the things and living the life that you may not be currently experiencing. Know that if you see others doing what you desire, then know that it is actually possible. And to be quite straightforward to start off the video, it's actually on you to be aware of where you're at so that you can then take action using those awarenesses to take action to make those changes. Because ultimately, it's on you to be self-responsible, self-accountable, and to take self-ownership of really changing your life. And you can do this, because if you see others doing it, then it's that switch in mindset that you actually can do that as well. Because the definition of insanity is if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and you're receiving the same result, then something needs to change. And that change is going to start with you. And the majority of people around the world, they don't want to change. It's too uncomfortable to change. It's too hard to change. It actually requires effort and work and commitment. However, nothing in this life is easy, but things can be done with a different attitude, with a different mindset, in a different frequency. And it's actually learning and practicing these different ways of being. And these are the things that I'm going to discuss today that can actually truly shift your life. Okay, so let's talk about shifting your identity. If you realize and you wake up today and you look around yourself and you see yourself in your life with the friends you have, with the job you have, with the amount of money that you have, how your health is, like everything in your current external reality, you actually were the one that created that. Whatever choices and decisions and ways of being and things that you've done in the past has actually created the life that you have today and the person that you are today and the thoughts that you have today. So, in order to create a different reality, please be aware that you can actually shift your identity to create your future version, your future vision, to create your goals in the future. Your identity, it is not fixed. It's actually, like I just said, it is shaped by your previous choices, the environments, the beliefs, everything in your past that actually has created what you have today. So most people live in this like recycled personality. They operate on this like default mindset, this default way of being, this default way of taking action and making decisions, right? They're in this like looping system. And if you are at that place where you're like, okay, I get it, I have these awarenesses, I'm not happy, I really want something else to change, here we go with the microphone, then it's a matter of upgrading your internal blueprint. In order to create success for you in your future, you really have to now start to show up. So in order to create your best life and be that future version of yourself that has the success of what you desire, of what your dreams and goals and aspirations are, you have to start showing up now as the version of you who already has what you desire. Now, I talk a lot about on my channel about the law of manifestation, about the law of attraction. So this is the law of attraction, the law of manifestation. These are manifesting techniques that you get to practice now to create that future reality. It's actually getting really clear about you in your present moment, of how you need to be, of who that person is. So the person in the future that already has the success in business, in wealth, in relationships, friendships, in love, in wellness, in whatever other passions and activities and things that you love in your life, that version, you need to tap into what does that person feel? What does that person think? What kinds of actions and decisions do they make because they're already in the place and space where they have that success? And you actually start to do that now. It's a practice. Nothing comes easy, but starting to get yourself to make this clarity around who you actually need to show up on a day-to-day basis. This is going to slowly, day by day, step by step, start to curate and become that person who has the success. So you actually can't create a new life from the same mindset that built the life that you currently have. Now, I just got off a call with somebody yesterday for my business, and they are in such a powerful position. They have been involved with other kinds of ways of earning an income in low-ticket network marketing, in other online spaces, and they are seeking something different. They're married, they have a child, they're living in an expensive city, and they want that freedom. They want to be able to have more time to spend with their family and have the money to provide for their family and be able to be involved with surfing and some of their other passions that they have. But at current, they're working, 8 to 10 hour shifts, which leaves them little time and not creating, an abundant income to actually support a life that they truly desire. Now, I got on the call with them and they sent me back a message this morning, and he said, no, it's not for me right now. I don't want to go into that same business again. It's just not for me. And it's so interesting because, of course, I always am here to support and encourage and mentor those who are ready now to move forward, because I get it. He has some past trauma or experience from a previous business model or a previous business vehicle or a way that he was earning an income before that didn't create him the result of a life that he truly desires. But here's the thing, that if you continue then to make your next choice in life to make a better life life, to make a better self, to make more money, to provide for your family, to create different, you cannot be operating and making the same decisions from the same mindset that you're at and be judging your decisions moving forward from what has happened in the past, because that just keeps you in the same place. And that's the thing. When people are reaching out to me, it's like, do you truly want to change, or do you just want to talk about it and complain about it? And this is where it's like this loving nudge forward that I'm calling you forward, that I'm actually sharing, because I also can call myself out on this, that if you just keep showing up the same and you're judging how you want to move forward, but you're still stuck in like whatever has happened in the past, that is going to limit you from creating more in the future. And I get it. It's really daunting and scary, and there are fears and there are many mixed emotions, and you're hesitant when you start something new. And that can be anything. When you're surfing at a new spot, when you're joining a new community, when you're joining a new gym, when you're starting something new, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to feel awkward. But the thing is if you really have a why and your motivation and your commitment to, I want to do this because I want that in the future, then it's a matter of sometimes showing up to do things and to live life and create in life and work in life in a different way that may feel uncomfortable and really out of the box, and maybe there's judgments from other people. But in order to create different, you cannot keep just doing the same. Otherwise, you stay where you are. And that's the thing. Why are people constantly questioning and talking about and then complaining about, oh, I want different. I want a different relationship. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. But it's the difference of like realizing in your mind, okay, this is where I'm at. What do I need to do then to create different, to have different in the future? What do I need to do? Because you just keep making the same decision. You just keep making the same choice the same. You keep like acting in a way that isn't different from before, so it's not going to create different in the future. And that just keeps you stuck. That limited way of thinking, it's in a scarcity mindset, it's in a lack mindset, and it's just self-limiting, because if you actually see other people doing amazing big things, that they're no different to you. It's just that maybe they've figured out a few different things, they've made some different choices, they've had to step up and out of the box to create different. And I share that from my own amazing results in my life, in the different areas of my life, from where I once was to where I am today. And I'm also in the same position, right? How do I get to where I desire to be in the future? So what do I need to do today, and who do I need to be so that I can create that? Because otherwise, if I just think the same and do the same, then everything's the same. But most people, the average person, they're not thinking because it's too hard, because you have to do work. And guess what, everybody? Yeah, it's hard. When people ask me about, let's use for example, surfing big waves. And here's the thing, I only have 5 and a bit years of experience. And I can proudly say, I have charged some pretty big waves. Not the biggest waves in the world. I'm definitely not a professional. I'm not sponsored. This is purely my hobby. But I'm committed because it's something that I love, and I have gotten amazing waves in the past. But in order to show up and get those waves, some days, some weeks, I don't get amazing waves, and it's hard. I have big wipeouts. I go over the falls. People see me. I think, oh, I've learned to embrace those times when I've essentially failed, because every time that you can essentially fail, that you can turn that into a learning opportunity. And it's the same for business. So I've had other team members in the past who gave the business 6 months and they weren't even fully committed. And then they said, and not only in my experience with my team, but other people, mentors of mine and friends of mine, and they talk about other people in their community. And it's if you just think, and maybe there are some business models that you can just blow up and create an incredible amount of success in a short amount of time. Please let me know. I honestly believe that sometimes things take time. It doesn't have to take years or decades, but it does take a certain amount of time. But I have had also fallen on my face many times with business. And do I think, just doesn't work for me and it's been 6 months, not for me? Anything that is really worthy of great success is actually going to take effort and commitment and discipline and being organized and focused and determined. And if everything in life was so easy, then everybody in the world would be a billionaire. Like if you truly want a certain life and a way of being and who you are and how you look and how your health and wellness is, and then you have certain things in your life for friendship, for marriage, the material things, accolades in your professional and financial life, then it's a matter of stepping out and doing things differently, doing things that most people won't, because most people complain and talk about like, oh, I'm not happy and I wish I had this and that. But the majority of people just talk about that and never take action. So in order to create that success, you've got to learn how to and embody shifting your identity, embodying a new way of being, a new way of thinking, a new way of acting, a new way of making different decisions, doing different to create different, because doing the same and having the same results, like that is not going to work for you. And it's like this loop and this cycle. And it is important. I think it's really valid that when you do have times where you feel stuck and you feel unhappy and you feel dissatisfied, these are all feelings that should be like acknowledged and validated. They're real. You are human. But then it's a matter of, do you have that awareness to be like, right, this is where I'm at. Like enough is enough. Like I need to make a change. And I share this passionately with you because through my entrepreneurial journey, through my life, I'm in my mid-40s now, through my surfing journey, through my life experiences so far, there are times when shit has hit the fan and I'm like, right, I don't want to be like this anymore. So I need to change because I got too much. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to get to like full drama and like all the world is ending and where, things may be like a really critical, extreme way. Like if you're having those nudges that something is just off and not right, that is the most powerful place for you to recognize, acknowledge, and validate, right, this is where I'm at. Now is the time to change. Okay, so I want to talk about rewiring your limiting beliefs. Again, I'm going to follow on from, if you're thinking, I can't do this, it's too hard, oh, only they are capable of achieving that, right? This is like a default way that we have been either preconditioned by ourselves, this way of thinking and these beliefs and what we think about ourselves, or maybe we have been very possibly conditioned by family, by parents, by past significant others, by society, by social media, by generations, right? Learning then that it's those beliefs that you have carried and have been conditioned by others, they're not actually yours. We carry sometimes these certain negative beliefs because they become coping mechanisms to make ourselves cope and to make ourselves feel better, to be sometimes ignorant or avoidant because the truth hurts and we feel uncomfortable and we feel scared. So then we start to create and start to believe these things about ourselves and say these things about ourselves and the world and others because it's easier. They can create success, but it's not for me. Like where does that even come from? So it's an invitation for you to actually think about, okay, where have your past traumas and where are these self-limiting beliefs coming from? Like really clearly identify and unpack for yourself, do some inner work. What's going on here? Because they just didn't come from nowhere, right? People just say, oh, that's just how I am. I can't do this because, it's just how I am. No, it's just how you are because you made yourself. Whether that's conscious or unconscious, because you're probably unconsciously aware that that's what you're saying. And it's actually interesting when you really do listen to what people say, you can actually really hear what they're saying beneath their words. A lot of people are just speaking words and not really aware of what they're saying because they're operating on this default mold of scarcity and lack. Some examples of internal stories that you may be thinking and feeling and even being, oh, it's too late for me. I'm not good with money. That's only for rich people. And well, this is good enough for me. And, people like me, they don't succeed. I don't get these the type of person I am, this is not really possible for me, right? Like there's probably, if you wrote down, there's probably many self-limiting beliefs that you have about yourself, but know that you can actually switch them. So these beliefs are just repeated thoughts and emotions. And this can go on, like I said, for years, for decades, for even, generations. And you can actually learn to rewire them through new inputs. And I'm talking about doing the work, doing the inner work, doing the personal development, doing your spiritual manifestation practices and techniques, right? Some of these are affirmations, some of these are journaling, some of these are meditation, visualization, right? Doing different habits and practices and techniques to learn how to shift the identity, rewire those beliefs, setting new beliefs, right? And the biggest belief to shift is, it is possible for me. Because if you see others doing what you want to do, they're no different to you. They may have just asked some different questions. They may have just figured out a few different things. But essentially, we as humans are really capable of extraordinary things. And when you get to actually shift that belief in your mind, like, oh, it is possible for me. I just need to figure it out. And then it's in that figuring out and that pursuit of your goals, that's where the momentum starts to build. And that's where you actually start to rewire those limiting beliefs and shift that identity. But just and taking the action, obviously. But that's the first step, and the first shift is like, oh, yeah, it's possible for me. I can do this, right? Like some things may not just necessarily happen tomorrow or in the next hour. Again, some work, some commitment, some dedication is required, but it is possible for you. And if it isn't, again, you need to unpack and uncover, like, where is that coming from that I think so small or low, or I'm in that lack and fear and scarcity? Like, where does that come from? And know that actually you can change that, because if not, you're just going to be staying in the same place, in the same mind, having the same. If you really are wanting change, then this is everything that I'm talking about today. So again, your current reality is the result of what you've believed in the past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Maybe it's even more than that. But what could change in the next, let's say, 3, 6, 12 months? What could actually change in the next 1, 3, 10 years if you changed those beliefs today? Not changing the beliefs tomorrow, but actually making a conscious effort and action in maybe writing something down or taking some step today. You make a vision board, you write some affirmations, you start today to do something that's actually going to change you in the upcoming months and years. To start that now. Okay, so the next section I want to talk about is matching the vibration of what you desire. So vibration, it is your emotional frequency. So you are going to attract what you are. It's the law of attraction, not what you want. When you're in this fear, in this scarcity, in this lack, in this worry, in this stress, and this rigid, stuck, low vibration, this heavy energy, you're gonna block your manifestations. You're gonna block anything that's going to come to you that is going to be more of flow and ease and grace and fun and vibe, right? People can feel your energy even through online. So even if when maybe you're at a restaurant and you're sitting there and you're in your own world doing your own thing and you see some people walk in, even you don't know these people, but you just can observe them. You can tell oh wow, these people are really happy, or they're walking in, they're giggling, just the way they're acting and their being, right? Same thing if you're sitting down. I observe this when I'm out eating and you see maybe a couple at the table next to you and you're okay, yeah, they're really in a fight, in an argument right now. You can just see it, you can feel it, you can see it, you can observe it, right? It's so important then to be so aware of your vibration and your frequency, right? And a way to raise your vibration, to lift your spirit, to shift that energy into a lighter, happier, more easeful, right? There are things that you can do, and this is meditations, right? You can be aware of what you're consuming in your day, whether it's online or just in your day-to-day. Are you placing yourself in environments that are going to allow you to feel in flow and expansive and happy and light? Or are you just going to get like stuck with people or in communities or watching certain things on social media that is just like, not serving you to be a better version of yourself or to create the life and business and wealth and health that you truly desire, right? Like allowing yourself to, these are easy things. Go out, take a walk, be in nature, right? If you're at your screens all day, move your body, go for a walk. It doesn't mean you have to necessarily go and do a really hardcore HIIT class where you have to, go and surf big waves, but get out into the nature, right? Allow yourself, again, like I said, meditation, right? And start to learn to say no. And even this has been something that I've had to do of recent, is start saying no to certain invitations or things in your day where people are like, let's do this, let's do that, and it's taking you out of like, okay, what is my focus in here? And of course I'm saying, like, of course you still need to be like social and see people and do things, but it's creating that awareness and that path for success that you've got to learn to start to say no to things that are going to drain you, things that are just going to leave you feeling like, if you're with a group of people or if you've just like wasted time like binge watching certain Netflix series, like, and then you think, oh, I should have done this. It's like having that awareness, right? It's also a matter of starting to embody the feeling of having it now. And this is what I spoke about before, is that even if obviously you may not have yet in your current reality everything that you desire in the future, but it's like starting to think and feel and almost like, pretend that you're like, oh, I'm good. Everything's in flow. I have this success, I have this, I have that, right? It's starting to just like get into that feel good energy and vibration and that positive mindset, even if everything around you may be crumbling down. But you can't control what's happening out there. Only you can actually be in control of and be mindful of and be the driver of your own emotions and frequency and vibration, right? So if you desire next level wealth, next level love, next level freedom, next level experiences and opportunities, and that life and self that you envision for the future, then your energy has got to meet that frequency first. And that's a practice, it's a shift, right? Okay, the last thing that I want to share about is you've got to surround yourself with mentors, community that allows you to grow and expand and evolve and elevate. Your circle, it's either going to expand you or it's going to contract you. And success, this doesn't have to be in your life. It doesn't have to be done alone. There's that quote, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. And of course, at the end of the day, you are your own person with your own life, but you don't have to do everything alone. And maybe even at the beginning, things seem a little lonely because let's say you have certain goals for your fitness, for your wealth, for your professional life, for your career. Maybe it's living somewhere, right? Moving different countries. Maybe in the beginning stages, it may be hard for you and lonely for you. Well, not hard for you, it may be lonely for you. But know that that's just the beginning. And sometimes we need to break away from environments and people and things that aren't serving us, that are keeping us in contraction, so that we can actually allow ourselves to move in different places, spaces, where it's going to allow you to actually elevate and expand. And I shared this as an example that being in different business online communities has been so key for me in my entrepreneurial journey, because most of my friends are not entrepreneurs and don't work online. And the people that I am around because of my business vehicle, I am so grateful of, because we talk about things that the majority of people don't. Like I said again, like if you want different, you can't keep just doing the same as everybody else and thinking the same and being around people with these kinds of mindsets that are limiting you. I'm so grateful for my online community and the mentors that I've had and role models and accountability people and people that I follow through social media. I am so grateful because I see, and some are already living the life that I desire, and they're being in this expansive energy and this expansive mindset, and they're allowing me to expand. Because plugging into communities where you can grow and where there is mentorship and accountability, this is actually what's going to ignite quantum leaps. Now, I used this example, if you've been following me on my Instagram, that I shared some talking stories one day when I was in Hawaii and I was surfing in Rocky Point. Now, my first season in Hawaii, I didn't surf Rocky Point because I was terrified. It looked so scary to me. It became one of my favorite places to surf until it got too big there. I've had so many amazing waves there, and I would be surfing every day. Professional surfers like Aaron Brooks, Cora Rothman, Alyssa Spencer, Kai Lenny, Koa Smith, Felipe Toledo. I mean, the amount of professional surfers that I was with and around in the lineup. I was like, okay, like obviously I'm aware that I'm not at that level, but just by allowing myself to be in the lineup, it like brought my frequency and energy and drive up. Like, okay, like I can do it. I can do it. I'm just going to watch them. I'm going to be in this energy and this vibration. And you know what? I started getting some really incredible waves. Rocky Point, if you know, it is a fast wave, it is a steep wave, it is a quick wave, it is a hollow wave, and it's going right, which is my backside. Not easy for me, but I did get waves there. I kept showing up. Sometimes I got slammed to the reef there. I had some sketchy moments on the rocks. I mean, not easy, but I kept showing up, and I did get some of the best waves at Rocky Point. So again, and it's the same thing in business. I recently signed up for a new program with Natalie Dawson. She had a new course, and I was joining the mentorship calls where there are some people doing some incredible business revenue, let me tell you. The impact and the wealth that they've created is amazing. And I'm not at some of the levels where they're at, but I've continued to always try to, with business and surfing, put myself in environments where it's going to really stretch me and make me feel uncomfortable. But I know that if I see other people doing it, okay, it's just a timing thing. I'm just as capable, right? And these are practices like, rewiring those self-limiting beliefs, and again, putting yourself in these environments. It's a practice. But if you continue to show up and do this, it's going to create that momentum, which then ignites the quantum leap for you to ultimately create the success that you truly desire. Other examples of allowing yourself to be, maybe if you cannot, physically be in like rooms with people, you can listen to podcasts, you can read books, you can invest in a coach or a mentor, you can follow other different content creators, through maybe watching YouTube videos, join maybe if you have co-working spaces or, for business, or if it's like for me, I'm being very inspired at this Fondue Pilates studio where I'm starting to see the same faces, and I'm, going to Pilates every day because I'm part of this challenge. I don't know if I shared about that, but I keep showing up and being around, people that other people are like, yeah, we're like doing it. We want to feel strong. We want to feel this, right? So you've got to allow yourself to put yourself in those environments that is going to stretch you. And yes, it's going to feel hard, and you're going to feel probably at first less than and, different, but that's okay. That's all part of the process. So it's really interesting too, because now I've been with the business vehicle for going on 5 years now. I did step away for a year. That'll be another story for another time. Or if you've watched my channel, you can follow my entrepreneurial journey. However, I have continued to allow myself to be in these business environments. And sometimes they have been mentorship containers or coaching programs. And I can see now that where I'm at today with my skills and experiences and the results that I've had in my business, my professional life and financial life, I'm ahead of maybe some people that only started maybe a year ago or 2 years ago. But I may not be at maybe where some people, if they've been in the business, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years, right? So we're all at just like a different phase in our life and business and wellness journey, right? And that's okay. This is all part of the beautiful experience of human life. I am so grateful because by always allowing myself to be in environments that allow me to grow and expand and elevate, it eventually allows me to do that. Like, I don't feel like where I am today is the same as where I was even 6 months ago, even a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Like, for me, it hasn't been that way. And I'm sure that you can agree with me. Leave with me a comment or feedback in the comment section if you also can identify and be aware that, okay, you are where you are today and that you're proud of where you are. And you're not where you were before, but maybe you're not yet where you want to be, right? But this is everything that I'm sharing with you today, that you do get to actually change that. So I just want to close. So I just want to go over that today in today's video. I did talk about shifting your identity, rewiring your limiting beliefs, matching the vibration, taking aligned action, and getting in the room with others to allow you to expand. And I just want to leave you with that. It's hard to change and it can be uncomfortable. And you can feel like you're falling flat on your face. And maybe you think that other people are talking about you and have judgments and whatever about you, right? But you know what's harder is just staying the same and feeling the same and being the same and being unhappy with where you're at. So I really remind you that as you're watching this right here, right now, that this is your sign. Whether it's something that you're feeling intuitively within you, or maybe it's this video today and everything that I'm sharing. Maybe you have some other experience that is I gotta change, right? And you're like, I've had enough, right? Know that is your calling. And I'm also calling you forward that if you're not happy, you get to change that. So I definitely invite you to journal, or maybe have a conversation with somebody, or if you'd really like to reach out to me, I'm always happy to connect. But I allow you to write down and get clear and maybe journal out, what are you no longer available for? What would be the highest version that you would choose right now? And then just allow yourself to create a moment in your day to day, whenever you're watching this, at whatever time of the year you get to watch this video, but just allow yourself to reflect and do that, journaling, that reflection about, what's not serving you, where do you want to be, who do you wish to become, right? Ask yourself these empowering questions. I have other videos that I talk about asking yourself empowering questions. And I just encourage you to really, if not now, if not before, but now, breathe the belief into you that it is possible to change. You may not have at all the answers, but starting with just this nudge of a new belief, of a new power, of a new feeling within you that it's possible, you can change your life. You can change your money, you can change your relationships in love, in friendship, you can change your health and wellness, you can change everything, but it starts with you. So I just allow you to, if you are curious about learning more about the business vehicle and the life opportunity that I am aligned with, go ahead, you can click the link in the description below. There is a free online business training course. Otherwise, I'm always happy for any feedback or comments that you have. Go ahead, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. If you found some value and vibe, there's more coming. And if you feel like this video is to share with somebody, I would love for you to share this with somebody who needs to hear it today. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.